So what we've seen from the Labour Party's campaigning over the last couple of years or so is they're desperate to appeal to a very specific demographic. The demographic of swing voters from 2019 and the Red Wall, the so-called Stevenage woman, like middle-class people, homeowners and mortgage holders who have been screwed over by Liz Truss. There's plenty of like swing voters who Labour have deliberately been trying to target with policy, which means scrapping a bunch of the policy that Keir Starmer said he would run on when he got elected leader. But of course, why would we expect a Labour leader to stick to any of the pledges that they made? But regardless, they've deliberately focused on very specific swing demographics outside of their base, and have left a lot of their base behind. One of the biggest bases for the Labour Party over the past decade or so, definitely over the last 5 years, or at least during the Jeremy Corbyn period, was young people. Young people were really engaged with the Labour Party. They engaged in mass membership of the Labour Party, and 2017 showed a huge increase in young people joining the Labour Party and voting. There was a big young person turnout in 2017 compared to all of the years previously, which is one of the kind of good things about the Corbyn era, was engaging young people in politics. But these people have started becoming disillusioned with the Labour Party. I know a lot of young people who have started talking about the Green Party or been upset with the Labour Party over dumping policies, over being too centrist, over essentially abandoning the Palestinians. And so they've become checked out, and their turnout might not be as high as they had in 2017 amongst young people. Labour, though, Labour have a plan. They have a plan to win back young people. Is it offering them policy? Of course not. Is it trying to actually engage with where they are and try and find things that matter to them, and then at least try and craft something that would at least appeal to these people in a material sense? None of that, right? We cannot be appealing to the pinko student politics trotskyists of the young people of this country. No. They don't understand what good politics is about. We can, however, virtue signal at them about why they have to vote for us and all of the good things you'll get from the Labour Party. And you know how they're going to win young people over? They're going to hire TikTok influencers, chat. Labour is going to work with TikTok influencers to reach young voters ahead of the election. Because, of course, right, young people are political idiots, according to our political class, right? They don't want policy. They don't want anything. They don't want any kind of material benefits. They can just be pandered to by influencers on TikTok. They think they can just waltz in to the sidemen and say, "What's up, cuz? Hello, fam? Would you like to give TikToks to the young people, to the youths?" And then suddenly that will mean that they'll magically be able to curry favour with young people who are being offered literal nothing by the Labour Party's plans, right? Literal nothing. No helps for renters. Songs for landlords, though. Literally, how do you do, fellow kids, type shit. Because again, they think they can just try and get people to vote through virtue signalling rather than offering them anything. And this is because they even told these kind of people that politics wasn't for them. It's really weird to me how we had years and years of the Corbyn era, people saying, oh, young people don't know what politics is about. They're naive. They're being bribed by policy, by Jeremy Corbyn, or whatever it is. When there's this mass movement of young people engaged with anti-austerity politics. Austerity politics that Keir Starmer supports now. We have a pro-austerity party from the Labour Party right now. And for some reason, there's we think we can win these people over with TikTok. And it just shows the infantilization of young people. The people are talking about, I can't believe young people are so disillusioned and disengaged with politics. They tried to get engaged for 4 years, and you told them that they were being naive. They were enterists, or whatever it might have been, rather than people who had a genuine political viewpoint and material interests that weren't being properly addressed by our political classes. And they think that just by going alongside KSI or whatever it is, they think they can win people over. And you know what? What's interesting as well is that it just fundamentally shows how much these people don't understand TikTok as a platform as well. And the TikTok is a user platform. People, and young people especially, are kind of irony poisoned now, and they know all the tricks. They've lived through kind of corporate social media. They cannot be bought by paid promotions. We see paid promotions on our TikTok feed all day, every day. We're not idiots. We know we're being sold to. We avoid that stuff. We can tell when something is insincere. Remember Brett Cooper, the person who got hired by the Daily Wire to be their streamer person to connect with young people? Her audience are all boomers, because young people saw somebody pretending to be a streamer in a studio set up to look like a bedroom at Daily Wire HQ. So we know that it's all artifice. No young person can buy that level of insincerity. And it's going to be the same when Labour try to interact with them on TikTok as well. They will notice the how do you do fellow kids energy, and it will turn them off and they won't engage. They won't engage at all. They need to be given actual material policy that deliberately affects them. They need to see their values reflected in the Labour Party, and they're seeing none of it. They were told they weren't welcome in the party. They've been consistently said, we don't care about you when it comes to policy. They won't be won over by insincere pandering over on TikTok. Because again, these are people who just don't understand social media. They don't understand social media at all. Westminster doesn't want mass participation. I mean, again, you're very true. You're absolutely true. It is sad and pathetic. And you know what's really, really funny about all of this? Is that this broke yesterday. Yesterday this broke. A story broke just a few hours before then, saying, oh, we want to reach young people. There was a story that broke about the EU wanting to offer a freedom of movement plan just for young people to make them mobile within Europe, for example. Especially important given that so many of the, through the music industry, for example, being able to tour Europe with kind of freedom movement would be really, really useful for people to be able to be upwardly mobile in the labour market within Europe, for example. Something that 18 to 30s would absolutely be desperate for. One of the things that unites young people in this country is most of them are anti-Brexit. Sometimes for shallow reasons, sometimes for more kind of well thought out reasons. But regardless, the Brexiteer vote amongst young people is very, very low. The EU offering these people free movement, and if Labour were to accept that, there'd be a really great way of materially showing young people that you're on their side, that you support their interests, that you're in some way engaging with what they want. You're not giving them a reform of tuition fees, you're not giving them back free entry to university at the point of usage. You're not reversing the austerity cuts. You're not giving them the rent controls that they're after. You're not giving them the social housing that they're desperate for too. You're scaled back on the climate policy, the one important thing that all young people really, really want to see is a big scale climate investment. You rolled back on that as well. And the EU offer them a lifeline to say, maybe you can offer young people some freedom within Europe that they really, really want to have back. Labour says no. Labour says no to free movement for young people. This is just how far removed they are from the interests of young people. Again, on the very same day that it gets reported they're just trying to win people over by wooing them with TikTok, as if they won't be able to see through it. The very same day it's reported that they're rejecting an EU offer that would specifically benefit the group of young people. Why should any young person vote Labour? What do Labour have to offer you as a young person? Nothing. There's nothing they're offering you at all. They think that you owe them your vote. They think that you are owed a vote to the Labour Party, and then they can win you over with nothing. Don't let them do it. Don't let them do that. The Green Party are offering you things that you want. They're offering you rent control. They're offering you council housing. They're offering you renationalisation of the water industry. They are long-term wanting to rejoin the European Union as well. Again, something I'm ambivalent on, but it's what young people want to see. If there's ever a party that should appeal to the young people, it's the Greens. And they should join, and 18 to 30s have nothing to gain from supporting a Labour Party that takes their votes for granted. And it takes their interests for granted as well. It takes their material interest totally for granted. And abandoning things like trying to take on the gig economy, which they've rolled back on as well, massively going to turn off young people. Rolling back on the climate pledge is treasonous to the interests of young people. It's treasonous to young people to turn away from climate investment, because that's where the young people's jobs come from. Graduate jobs are going to come from that. That investment's now been massively scaled back. And of course, young people want to see climate change fixed because that's the world they're going to have to live in. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. And I hope it comes back to bite them, because young people aren't going to support the Tories. They're not going to support them at all. Unless Labour get their act together and actually gives young people real material policy, rather than just expectant votes and pandering, they're going to find that in 6 years' time, when they can't just wave the Tory stick, can't just go, ooh, Tory enabler, young people can be nowhere to be seen. Nowhere to be seen. And good riddance as well to young people's engagement with Labour, because it's completely unwarranted, especially now the head of Young Labour, which has lost a huge number of memberships, is just another son of a donor of the Labour Party. Heaven forfend. Hey there, if you enjoyed the video, make sure that you like and leave a comment. That helps the video out in the algorithm. If you subscribe and ring the bell, it'll let you know when I go live. I stream every day on YouTube and Twitch. You can also follow all of my socials down in the description. And if you want to support me in a more financial manner, there's a join button for memberships. It's just 99p to be a member on YouTube, as well as a Patreon, and there's some merch there as well. And hopefully I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.